Morning, guys. Stretch it out a little bit here. Gusto's in the house. Home Gym Physique is back. David Jones. Lovemore's here. Frankie's here. Another one in the books, guys. Turning the page, 2025. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Shout out to the Netherlands. GP Training in the house. Good morning, brother. Good afternoon, actually, for you, right? Happy New Year to all you guys. I appreciate you popping in. So, guys, we always talk about the New Year's resolutions. And so there actually is a thing called Quitter's Day. And it's the second Friday in January. So for 2025, Quitter's Day is officially going to be January 10th. Right. And they say that 80% of the people that make a New Year's resolution will quit by, I guess, if not Quitter's Day, by the end of January. And then
by the end of the year, 8%. If you check back in with people that made a resolution a year from now, 8% of them allegedly will have completed their resolution or done most of what they said they were going to do. 8%. So that's 8 out of 100 people. So we have this romantic notion that, we always talk about, January 1st is the magic day for people. But rather than waiting until January 1st to make some type of resolution, you should, especially when it comes to your health, you should make a resolution every day to do something to better your health. I think this whole January 1st thing is just another excuse for people to prolong their bullshit through the holidays, which basically start on Halloween, right? Because then you have Halloween and you wake up, it's Thanksgiving, and then the Christmas parties start, then Christmas, then New Year's. And then you bitch about how hard it is to get in shape. And that's why we have Quitter's Day. And then you go to your Super Bowl party. Before you know it, it's spring, Memorial Day, whatever else. And then comes summer. And you got to relax during the summer. You earned a vacation. So we'll wait until the kids go back to school. We'll wait till after Labor Day, and then we're going to get in shape. And then you do it a couple of days, and then you realize how hard it is, and then you stop, and then, the holidays are back. You know what? I'm going to start January 1st again. So it's a never-ending cycle. You never get off the gerbils wheel. You know what, Goose? Just to keep doing what I'm doing, brother. That's it. Yeah, I just want to keep pushing, keep pushing. Just get better at what I'm doing, hopefully, or don't get any worse. Hopefully, just don't get any worse at what I'm doing. I'd be happy with maintaining the status quo. He's full of shit if he's jobless and tells you he doesn't have time. Oh, never ends, guys. But it's a sad commentary to say that we have an actual day called Quitter's Day, right? Quitter's Day. Think about that. there wasn't some truth to it, they wouldn't have made the day up. But it's a fact. They know, the gym owners. It's built right into their business model. I mean, if you look at pretty much every gym, if you look at the size of it, the capacity of it, they have way more members signed up than they could ever fit in that building. But you'd have a better chance of finding that needle in the haystack and the unicorn and the leprechaun and the four-leaf clover all in one day. You'd have a better chance of doing that than filling up that gym on any given day. What's up, DK? Hope you're doing well, brother. Happy New Year. Love either one, depending on the day, depending on the mood, depending on the weather. If I'm going to be at home or at the gym, but home, gym, out at the park, out in the backyard, whatever it takes. I enjoy each one, in different ways, actually. So, good morning, Mirko. You're right. We all have to train ourselves. But that waning motivation is a real big factor with a lot of people, and I get it. It is with me. I have to keep that I have to keep. But again, you have to motivate yourself. You have to work on yourself. I love watching other people. I get inspiration from other people for sure. I have a lot of friends that I met on YouTube that inspire me. And if I'm ever not in the mood to work out, I just turn on one of their channels and watch them, listen to them. And, you have to do different things. It's more, guys, this is so much more of a mental game, really, than it is a physical game. It really is, because it's your mind. It's your mind that holds you back most of the time. It's not the physical part. No, at home, brother. My days of going out on New Year's are long, long, long over. Long over. So the town I grew up and worked in, the bars by ordinance were allowed to stay open till 2 a.m. and then 3 on the weekends. But on New Year's Eve, they let all the bars open stay. It's easy for me to say. They let all of the bars stay open 24 hours. They didn't have to close that night. And there were far too many New Year's Eve parties that I went to that lasted all night. And really, when you think about it, if you haven't had your fill by 2 or 3 a.m., there's some issues going on. And again, I've talked about it before in a couple of videos. it was kind of a double-edged sword in my case. I wasn't a pass-out drunk. I handled alcohol pretty well most of the time. That's nothing to be proud of, but you know, unfortunately, that led to many nights where it was much more than I should have had. But no, I haven't gone out on New Year's in many, many years. And like a lot of things from my earlier days, I don't miss it one bit. I couldn't even imagine doing it now, to be honest with you. Yeah, you're right, Miyako. It changes now every day. Like I said, you don't need a new year to make a resolution. You need a new day, a new morning. Yeah, Goose, I was. For 32 years, I was on a job there. Um, but like I've talked about before, I always did some type of working out. You know, I had my ups and downs, the peaks and valleys throughout the years, but I always tried to get something done. Um, what do you mean? Well, maybe I'm mixing up. Do you mean did I work on New Year's Eve? Yeah, there were many New Year's Eves. If that's what you're asking, yeah, I did work. They were always interesting nights. Things always seemed to get out of hand. Like I said, you have a town full of people and you leave the bars open all night. A lot of people go out early. They start drinking 8, 9, 10 o'clock, um, or whatever, well before midnight, and then you run into them at 3 or 4 in the morning. Uh, there was always issues. We always had our share of car accidents, no shortage of fights and just stupid stuff, domestic stuff, the usual. But it was amplified on New Year's for sure. Many, many nights I worked that. But I always said, if you took alcohol and drugs out of the mix, I wouldn't have had a job. You know, we had like 200 cops in town, and if you would have taken alcohol and drugs out of the mix over the years, you could have policed the whole town with 10 cops, 10 or 15 cops. All the trouble, certainly in my personal life and things I dealt with throughout the years. Uh, so much of it was just a result of alcohol and drugs. Oh, you've seen that? Those, yeah, Jersey Shore. You know what? And I got news for you. You would think, you watch that and you would say they were kind of playing it over the top, but that's New Jersey. There's a good. That wasn't a bad reflection of Jersey, to be honest with you. It was pretty spot on with those people. I just saw something the other. I don't know if I saw it online or. I think they're back. I think they actually have some type of reunion thing going on where I hate the thought of it, but they have kids now or something. Or I don't know what's going on. I never watched it, to be honest with you. I mean, I used to see bits and pieces of it, uh, but that was a pretty good depiction of a lot of people in New Jersey, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right. I think it was on MTV back in the day. I wish I could remember. It was recently. It was in the past week or two that I saw some advertisement. I don't know if it's something that popped up online or, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to start a new series with them, all grown up. But yeah, that's it wasn't a, that's not too far off of a lot of the crowd here in Jersey for sure. Unfortunately, like I said, but along with our standard American diet, that's the type of things we export all over the world. showing clowns like that. And I'm sure they all got rich off of that in their own way, which is another sad thing to think about. Yeah, unfortunately, Goose, I guess that's not a. It's not just limited to us, right? It's just human nature that we reward these people. But it's that human nature. We like watching the train wrecks, right? Who can resist driving past a car wreck and not getting a good look at it? I think part of it is just being able to look at somebody else and saying, "Wow, I'm not that screwed up. Look at this guy." I think that really is a thing too, especially uh, a lot of people will justify their bullshit and say, "Well, I'm not. Yeah, I have a few pounds to lose, but I don't look like that guy. I'm not as bad as that guy." You know, and that's how you just because we all have to justify our own bullshit. I know I spent my life justifying mine, but you have to tell yourself things to get through the day and convince yourself that you're not as screwed up as the next guy. Uh, in a sense, Goose, like I have, I don't know if you've seen, some time back, I posted some videos of a young guy that I met. We work out periodically together. One second. His name is Lenny, and I posted a couple of videos, and we're still in touch, and we get together once in a while and work out. So I'm actually going to be doing a workout with him later this afternoon. So I was feeling a little like the Tin Man this morning, and I decided I should do a little stretching just to limber up a little bit. But we'll be hitting the gym a little later today. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. More than likely some pull-ups and stuff, things like that. Uh, but yeah, I didn't want to go too crazy this morning. I figured stretching is always a good go-to. You know, I don't think we can get enough of that for sure. But the past couple of days, I did some pushing. I don't know if you saw, but I think a couple of days ago I did a chest workout with the dumbbells here, and then yesterday morning we did some shoulders again with the dumbbells. So a couple of days of pushing. So today will probably be a pull day, maybe some pulls with some ab work. Yes, that's exactly right, Goose. Yeah, periodically I'll go to different parks, and this park where I met Lenny here. I was working out one day and we just struck up a conversation, and yeah, it was at one of the parks that I used to go to. Uh, but we still keep in touch. You know, we go back and forth. I keep tabs on him. He's doing really well. I'm really proud of him. He's come a long way, and so I like to get together with him at least once a week or whenever my schedule allows. We meet up and we just go do a workout uh, at one of the gyms down by his area. No, he didn't. He really didn't. He took to it. He was really driven in the beginning. He wasn't too sure. Just needed a little bit of guidance, and yeah, he certainly doesn't need motivation. I mean, he motivates himself. Uh, and like I said, he's like a sponge. Whatever you tell him, he'll go and try it, and he really does work hard. So I'm proud of him. Yeah, especially in that atmosphere. When you're in the park, and especially when somebody else. Because I say this all the time. I go to these parks, and I've been in parks in the middle of Manhattan, in the middle of New York City, and one of the most populated places on earth, and I could be in a park for an hour or two at the calisthenics station working out alone, and nobody else will come in. So if somebody does, and they're doing something similar to what you're doing, it's only natural that you're probably going to strike up a conversation. But that's one of the things that I like about being out at the parks. Not only the fresh air and being in the sun, but you bump into different people and listen to their stories. Yeah, well, that's what we were just saying, right? That's why we have Quitters Day. That's why that's a real thing. That's why Quitters Day is a real thing, because people do, you know, and again, they like to listen to their own bullshit. I mean, I can't imagine that at the end of the day they really spew all this stuff and think that anybody else is going to believe them. Um, and the other thing too is, even if in your heart you don't really want to see somebody fail, if somebody's talking about improving themselves, and it's something that you're not going to do or you can't do or you don't have the discipline to do, in the back of your mind you're just waiting for them to fail just so you could say, ah, see, why even bother? That's why I don't do it, because it's so hard. And uh, but the fact of the matter is that almost everybody, and that's not an exaggeration, almost everybody that does it, even if they do it and have some success, they always rest on their laurels, and they slide right back to where they were. you know All right, thank you, brother. Shout out again to the Netherlands. I appreciate you. I'm glad you were able to pop in today. Have a safe New Year. Like I said, happy and healthy, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Thanks, brother. What's up, Luke? Good morning to you. Happy New Year. All right, Luke. 3:30. You're almost there. It's almost next year in Germany. So, guys, with all my shitting on New Year's resolutions, that said, does anybody have anything in the back of their mind that they want to do? They want to start? They want to continue in the new year? Something that you're sick of giving up on, that you really want to succeed at once and for all, and you're hoping that the new year is going to flip a switch for you? All right, Luke, working on those pull-ups. How you been doing it? You doing your dead hangs and your negatives, or did you get yourself a set of bands? What's your strategy on those? Yeah, you know it, Kat. Happy New Year. How you doing? Gotta stay flexy. Very important. Good, Luke. Yeah, like I think we talked about that, right? It all works in its own way. It's all gonna be beneficial. Those dead hangs are really good money, right? They're gonna help you grip strength, your forearm strength. Um, they're great for your shoulders, everything else. Negatives are gonna work. Good. Just keep going. Kat, how you been? Hope everything's good with you over there. Guys, anybody that is serious about turning it around in the new year, if you're looking for some one-on-one coaching, we'll get your diet in check, get you not only working out but building some good overall lifestyle habits. You can hit me up at the email address. It's olddogfitness19@gmail.com. It's in that link tree that you see there in the chat. Also, anybody interested in some really cool old dog merch, you could check that out. We have channel memberships up and running if you want to check those out. Again, everything old dog related is going to be in that link tree, in that link you see there in the chat. All right, Kat. Sorry to hear that. Whatever it is, I hope it passes quickly and you get through it and you come out unscathed and better for it on the other side. But wishing you the best. I appreciate you popping in today. All right, guys. That said, it was a light one today. Like I said, we're probably going to do some pull-ups later in the day. But this morning was just to, like Kat says, stay flexy a little bit, right? And just to get the blood pumping in the morning here. So probably going to go have some eggs, and then we'll hit our workout later in the day. Yes, Luke, I have. I've given that serious consideration. Uh, I've done plenty of research on getting a one or two person sauna. I'm actually in my garage right now. Um, I don't have much room, but I did research that, but that's a bit of it's a pretty high end ticket item, you know. And they do have those portable steam saunas basically like a little where you zip into it. You zip open the door and get in and out. Um, I'm not really too keen on those. In a perfect world, I'd be able to resituate this garage a little bit and get at least a one or maybe little two-person sauna. But I'm a big fan of the sauna. I used to do sauna and steam all the time growing up, and for many years while I was working, I would hit the YMCA and they had a steam and sauna. And even on days that, when I didn't work out, I would stop in there just for the steam and sauna. I was a big fan of it. And I really do miss it. I think there's a lot of benefits. Again, people argue, well, what is it really doing for you? Whatever. If you don't believe in it, but I believe there's benefits to be had. But I do miss it. But yeah, I would love to have my own sauna down here. Yeah. Well, you want to get even more bang for your buck. You stretch in the sauna. You stretch in the sauna. This way you're warming up and you're limbering up at the same time. But stretching is like cardio. It seems boring, but it really is. It's a necessary evil, because you can't be going into your workouts. Um, you can't be going into your workouts cold and risk the injury. And it has nothing to do with your age. Um, I don't care how old you are, And again, I think back to when I went into the gym years and years ago. I never gave any thought to stretching and how it was pretty stupid. Um, I actually did. Man, I was probably in my 20s, and I walked into the gym cold, and I was doing a back workout, and I was doing lat pull downs, and I just sat. And I didn't. I'd like to say that I was pulling the whole rack of weights, and I pulled my back out, but I literally just, in one motion, I was sitting down on the machine, and I was reaching up at the same time to grab that bar, and I grabbed the bar and just gave it a little tug, and my back went out. And I had never. Man, I was probably in my early 20s, but I never knew what it was to like hurt my back. And yeah, I've to this day, for years and years and years, whatever I did that one day really screwed my back up. So, stretching and keeping limber, flexibility is really important. Yeah, pretty much. That's the conventional wisdom, Luke. Some type of dynamic movement prior, and then do your statics after. You know, that's what they say. I don't always hold to that, 100%. I sometimes I do some statics, and I don't feel any worse for the wear. But conventional wisdom is going to tell you that you want to do dynamic stretching pre-workout and then do the static stuff post. You're right. That's it, Luke. At the end of the day, right? Because I say it all the time. You can't paint everybody with a broad brush. What works for you may not work for me. We may find something. We may find common ground and something that works for the two of us. But at the end of the day, it's what you enjoy, what's sustainable, what makes you feel better. Because, like I said, it is a mental game. You can't go into it every day dreading it. That's not to say you can't challenge yourself and get out of your. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do things. If you do every day the things that you're comfortable with, because we all have a certain strength, right? Somebody might be, when it comes to pushing exercise, they may just have a natural strength, a natural tendency to be able to do that. Uh, Conversely, there are people that can do. So my point is, you're always going to gravitate towards, if you're strong on a bench, you're going to tend to do the to bench very often. So you want to look at your weaknesses and the things that you kind of don't like, and force yourself to do those. And then when you do that, you're gonna start liking it, even more. But yeah, you definitely have to mix it up. And but again, we're all gonna, some people, all they want to do is run. I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to tell them that they're wrong. Some people just want to lift weights. All I want to do is deadlift, and you see that all the time. I was at the gym the last week, and there were three young guys. Uh, they had the other. There was a guy with them. I don't know if he was a coach or he was kind of. He seemed like he was kind of coaching them along. But they were three young guys, and two of them were. I wouldn't call them obese, but they had some extra weight on them, and all they did was stand there for about 2 hours and deadlift. Uh, and again, this guy maybe was their coach, but and I'm certainly not a deadlifting expert, but what I saw scared the shit out of me because these kids were just it was just an accident waiting to happen. They were lifting far too much weight. The one kid almost went into convulsions, dropped the weight, and just, um, but again, if that's what you enjoy, but I just think I, I, I'm more of a it's got to be all encompassing. It's got to be a little bit of everything. You don't like stretching, but you really should for your overall health. You should be doing some stretching, um, body weight stuff, weights, because it all works in its own way. It's all beneficial as long as you're doing it consistently and doing it the right way. You know, so but you got to find your wheelhouse, but don't be afraid to experiment with other things. Single leg squats, Luke? You mean like pistol squats? Uh, no, I mean I've done them assisted with holding on to the band, partials and stuff like that. But no, I've never really gotten into. I've done them. I've done them periodically at the park. Like I said, it's tough. They're really tough because there's a balance aspect to that too. That you have to get used to. But it's like everything else. But there's only so many hours in a day. I started trying to do this front lever. So when I do the days that I do pull-ups or some type of pull work, I've been trying to get static holds with the tuck lever and get stronger with that. Um, I was finally able to do a couple of muscle ups, but I don't do them as often as I should, and I sometimes I forget. My mind, I don't know, they kind of drive me nuts. I'll do them one day, I can't miss, and then I'll walk into the gym, and it'll be like I never did it before. My friend Aldo on Crusades of Motivation, he's working on his planche now. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, how much can you do? You run out of time in a day. So, Cat, you're hitting those box. Oh, that's good. Good on you, man. They're tough. Those pistol squats are tough, no doubt. Yeah, Drew, and a lot of people shit on yoga, thinking it's not like a real workout. But I challenge anybody with that attitude to go do even like a 30-minute yoga class. Yoga is no joke, and it's beneficial. I can attest to that because I started doing it some time back, and all I did was I went on YouTube. Right, YouTube's the best school in the world, and I was just following along and doing. And again, I'm certainly not Gumby right now. I mean, I'm I'm not the most flexible guy in the world, but when I compare it to what I was a couple of years ago, um, there's a big difference. Just this position I'm doing right now, I couldn't have done this a couple of years ago. I would have been toppling over, cramping up. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Frank, Pilates is in the same vein as the yoga. People look at it as like girly stuff, yoga and Pilates, but you big strong guys who think it's all bullshit. Go give it a try. Give it a try, and then see what you think. Yeah, you're right, Kat. It is like we mentioned earlier. This whole thing, the whole fitness thing, and trying to keep yourself in good shape. Uh, it's more a mental game than it is a physical game to a large degree. And most people don't look at it that way. Just like when it comes to weight loss, they think I just need to lose weight. No, all I need. Well, no, if you got to 30, 40, 50, 60 or more pounds overweight, there's other issues going on. It's not just, oh, I just want to lose 20 pounds. You know, W- how have you been living to get to that point? You got to change that, because just like we said earlier, how many people, almost to a man, people will do it. There's very, very, very few people that will change their lifestyle for the better, have some success, and then keep going with it and not revert back to what they were doing. Almost everybody does it. They'll have a little bit of success. Hey, you look great. Did you lose weight? Yeah, I did. I did. Wow, you look really good. Bing. Now they think they reached the top of the mountain and they can do what they want again. I talk about my friend that I worked with. Um, uh, he lost about 40 pounds in the course of 2 or 3 months. Told me how he felt better than he's ever felt in his life. And then he said, when can I go back to eating normal? He thought that his lifestyle that got him to that, and he lost the 40 pounds. He had more to lose, but he was all happy with himself, and he should have, rightfully so. He did well in a short amount of time. He lost that weight, but he put it all back on. He's right back to square one. Yeah, it was, Drew, it was so sobering for me when I first started doing it. I don't know if it was last year. It was a while ago that I started doing it. And man, you talk about cramps. I locked up left and right when I first started doing it. Like I said, it was real sobering. I didn't realize how stiff I actually was until you start doing that stuff. Oh, Cat, you went all in, huh? Yeah, I've done a couple of classes where they did like the ohms and the whatever it is, and you're right, you do feel silly, but it is, when you're done, you do feel good. You do feel good. And I say it even any workout that I do, you know, you a lot of times you go into it, a lot of days you're not into it, you don't want to do it. You go in kicking and screaming. I really don't want to do this. I don't want to be doing this today. And when you're done, you feel like a new person. So I don't think there's any such thing as a bad workout. Well, see, Luke, that's the problem. People go into it looking at it as a diet, and there's no such thing. There shouldn't be. It should be. an overall lifestyle change. People think they're going to eat chicken and broccoli for 6 weeks. The number on the scale is going to go down and they're going to be a new person. It's not. You have to change mindset. You have to change lifestyle habits, and it takes time. You can't just revamp your whole life overnight, which leads back to this whole New Year's resolution bullshit. New year, new me. You're not going to wake up on January 2nd a new person. It takes time. It could take years. It does take years. I can attest to that. I'm living proof. And it's a constant battle. But these people with the diet, I'm gonna go on a diet. And when you say on a diet, that denotes an endpoint. I'm just gonna do this for a certain amount of time. And then I'm gonna go back to what I was doing. But if you're really gonna do it, if you're really gonna start a health journey, you have to look at yourself, do some real soul searching, real self-assessment, honest self-assessment. Think about what got you to the point that you're at. And tell yourself you're going to change, But people don't want to do that because of three things: convenience, comfort, consumption, which is what we're all addicted to. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to stop eating. We're addicted to the consumption. And we certainly don't want to be inconvenienced, which is why we have Uber Eats. What's up, Beard? Good to see you, brother. That's good. I'm glad you're back healed up. Get back at it and stick with it. Like I said, we're always going to have setbacks. There's always going to be setbacks. But that's not an excuse to quit for good. Right? Your goal should always be to take care of that setback, get through it, do what you have to do. And I know back issues are tough. I was talking earlier about it, injuring my back 40 years ago, and I still feel it today in the exact same spot. I threw my back out that time, and over the years, something as silly as just putting my sock on, I would throw my back out in the exact same spot. So it's tough, but just keep pushing through, brother. I'm glad you popped in. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope the family's good. The namaste stuff. Yeah, even if you don't get anything out of that, as long as you're limbering up, as long as you're getting looser. Yeah, you're right, Luke. It's we always say you control your weight, you maintain your weight, you lose weight, you gain weight, and it's all based on what goes in your mouth. It has nothing to do with exercise. Exercise is always going to be a supplement uh, to the other good habits. It's never going to be a penance. It's never going to negate all of your bullshit lifestyle choices. The booze and the food, lack of sleep, and like I've talked about before, I live my life like that, thinking that, I'm living like a clown, thinking that I'm bulletproof. I can get away with anything. The whole I can eat whatever I want uh, and get away with it just because I go to the gym and bench press. So that's going to negate all of my other stupid decisions, and it's not. It never will. And you can't convince people of that, you know, unfortunately. But it goes back to what we said. It's got to be a lifestyle. It's got to be a lifestyle. And are you ever going to be 100%? No, nobody is. But you have to strive for it every day. Get as close as you can, as long as you keep trying. You're gonna fall off the wagon. Like I just said to Longbeard, there's always going to be a setback. There's always going to be a distraction, but you can't let it derail you for good. You know. All right, guys. With that, I think we're going to cut it here. Like I said, check out the link down below. Anybody interested in one-on-one coaching, we'll get your diet in check. Hopefully, you get you on the right track. You can hit me up at the email. It's all in that link tree. Anybody interested in some dope merch? We got some shirts and hats going on. Channel memberships up and running. You could check that out. Again, everything's going to be in that link tree down below. I appreciate everybody for popping in. If you made a New Year's resolution, I wish you the best with it. Stick to it. Check in. Let me know how you're doing. I appreciate each and every one of you. I wish you a happy, healthy New Year, you and your families. Everybody go get some reps in. Have a good day. And we'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks, guys.